Hi there. Today I'm going to talk about interpreting the signs. This is something that a lot of people have a hard time with. They're not quite sure what the signs mean, if they're making it up, where it's coming from, all of those good things. The one thing I always like to tell people when it comes to signs and when you're interpreting them is don't be looking so hard. Don't be trying to figure out what the sign means. You can recognize that, it might mean something, but don't try to figure out exactly what the meaning is, because sometimes there's just not meant to be a meaning. Sometimes when you look too hard into it, you are going to be finding exactly what you want to find. A great example of this is when I read the tarot. When I read the tarot, don't ask to know which direction to take. I don't look for an extremely detailed message. I simply look for a yes, no, or I'm not asking the right question and I need to be looking a little bit deeper. The reason being, because if it's not simple as yes, no, undetermined, I'm going to interpret it how I want to. If there is a maybe in there, and if it's something that I want to do, I'm going to interpret that maybe as yes. If it's something that is maybe and I don't want to do it, I'm going to interpret that maybe as no. And so with all of those nuances, you want to be able to interpret signs and that yes, no, where things are clear cut, so that you do get the best determination. The reason this happens, and the reason Spirit can be somewhat unclear, is because there is free will. Your spirit guides, your guardian angels, they're not going to tell you what to do. They might push you in a particular direction. They might nudge you very strongly, but there is the thing called free will. So your guides, they're not going to tell you and force something upon you. Nobody can force something upon you except for you. So you do want to be looking at, okay, what are those nudges? Where are those signs? But looking at them in a very clear distinction, because if you're looking for something, it's very, very often you're going to be doing it and interpreting it how you want, and your determination is already there. So by looking at the signs in a yes, no, maybe, undetermined way, you're going to be getting clearer signs.
Is that a bird sitting on top of that stuff?
Yep, an Oriole. I also want to encourage you, when you're looking at signs, it not to be something that, okay, you might have to look deeply into. A sign from Spirit is going to be pow. It's going to be in your face. I've talked about this in some previous videos. Check out the card to be looking and seeing that lot more when it came to going into preschool with my daughter. Whenever we decided not to do something, pow in our face, the preschool was put right back in front of us. It was something that was out of the blue. We didn't have to interpret. It was there. I see this with a client of mine who I wish I could tell her to break connection with a gentleman in her life, and that I felt that there wasn't a spirit, a soulmate connection. But I can't. And with her, whenever she and this gentleman have an argument, she sees him everywhere. Places that they don't normally go. Like, they will be across town and be at the same gas station at the same time. Like, for example, they both live in Orchard Park and they see each other at a gas station in Niagara Falls. Something you can't plan. It's not like they're trying to arrange these things. That is a sign from Spirit. That is when they are putting the message in front of you that perhaps this is more than you think it is. How they act upon that is solely their decision. Whether they break ties or whether they try to mend things, Spirit tries to put that opportunity in place. And that's where it's always about the right place at the right time. And that's how Spirit passes its messages. Water does a body good. For me recently, it has been deer. I know I've mentioned in some of my videos before, and I wrote the blog, check out the card above, in my blog, Deer have been showing up everywhere for me. When I'm driving down the street, I will see not one deer. There was one day I saw 18 deer. And it wasn't dawn, it wasn't dusk. It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And there were deer everywhere. Haven't figured out what that sign means yet. I have Googled it, and I know that it still means something because the deer keep showing up everywhere. Sometimes it's just that message from Spirit that perhaps it's not about knowing what the deer means. Perhaps it's not about knowing exactly what the message is, but just that Spirit has got your back. Just to know that the universe is behind you, pushing you forward, and you're on the right track. Could be a warning. I don't take deer to be a warning. If I was seeing snakes, I might take it as a warning, mostly because I don't like snakes, and it's something that I'm not a fan of. If I was seeing birds all of the time, again, I might see that as a sign that something is amiss because I do not like birds. Ugh, they freak me out. When I see a hawk, I'm always like a little encouraged because I'm like, okay, that's a good bird. And they don't come close to me. But other birds, not so much. But sometimes that sign, that reiteration, that repetition that you see of different things, well, it will drive you nuts. And you'll be like, what the heck does this mean? We've all been there. Sometimes it's just that reassurance that you're not alone, which is a great feeling. Because in today's age, it's hard. Sometimes you do feel alone. I know I have rambled a lot today, and you're probably like, man, Dawn, you just don't have any type of cohesion here. But I hope what my message makes some sense. If you're liking my channel, like, subscribe, put questions you have in the comments below, and I will be talking to you again really soon. Talk to you tomorrow. And can you believe it's day 70? Day 70! 70% of the way done. Bye, guys.